Have you ever seen someone in need and wondered whether you should stop to help? Maybe you were in a hurry or thought, someone else will do it. That's a feeling most of us know. And that's exactly the kind of situation Jesus talked about in one of his most famous stories, the parable of the Good Samaritan. One day, a man who was an expert in religious law came up to Jesus with a question. He asked, "Teacher, what must I do to inherit eternal life?" Jesus, as he often did, turned the question back on him. He said, "What's written in the law? What do you read there?" The man replied, "Love the Lord your God with all your heart, all your soul, all your strength, and all your mind, and love your neighbor as yourself." Jesus nodded. "You've answered correctly. Do this, and you will live." But the man wasn't done yet. He wanted to prove himself, or maybe test Jesus further. So he asked another question, and who exactly is my neighbor? That's when Jesus told a story that completely turned the idea of neighbor upside down. He said a man was traveling from Jerusalem down to Jericho. It was a dangerous road, steep, rocky, and full of hiding places for robbers. Sure enough, bandits attacked him. They beat him badly, stole everything he had, even his clothes, and left him lying there, half dead on the side of the road. Time passed. Then along came a priest, someone respected, a man who served in God's temple. When he saw the injured man, you might expect him to help, but instead, he crossed to the other side of the road and kept walking. A little while later, another religious man came by, a Levite, someone who worked in the temple. He also saw the man lying there. Maybe he felt sorry for him. Maybe he was afraid it was a trap. Either way, he too passed by and went on his way. Then a Samaritan came down the road. Now, to the people listening, this was surprising. Jews and Samaritans didn't get along. They avoided each other. They disagreed on religion, on history, on almost everything. So when Jesus mentioned a Samaritan, people probably expected the worst. But this Samaritan did something no one expected. When he saw the injured man, his heart was filled with compassion. He went right over to him, cleaned his wounds with oil and wine, and bandaged them up. Then he lifted the man onto his own donkey, walked beside him, and took him to an inn. At the inn, he didn't just drop him off. He stayed through the night, making sure the man was cared for. The next morning, he gave the innkeeper 2 silver coins and said, "Take care of him. If you spend more than this, I'll repay you when I come back." When Jesus finished the story, he looked at the man who had asked the question and said, "Now, which of these 3 do you think was a neighbor to the man who was attacked by robbers?" The man answered, "The one who showed him mercy." And Jesus said, "Go and do the same." The story of the Good Samaritan isn't just about kindness, it's about seeing people, really seeing them, even when they're different from us. It's about compassion that crosses boundaries, race, religion, status, or background. The Samaritan didn't stop to ask, "Does this man believe what I believe, or is he someone I know?" He saw a person in need, and he acted. Jesus told this story to remind us that love for God and love for people can't be separated. They're meant to be lived out in real, everyday moments. So maybe being a good neighbor isn't about where someone lives, but about how we treat them. It's about the small choices we make when no one's watching, the moments we stop to help, the times we choose compassion over convenience. Because in the end, the Good Samaritan isn't just a story about him. It's an invitation for us to go and do the same. Thanks for watching. I hope you have learned a thing or two. Don't forget to like and subscribe.